Okay, so you're now at a point where you're starting to think about your research and you've got a good idea of what your topic's going to be. So you've got a lesson on the Chromebooks now, and I just wanted to make sure that you are doing your research effectively, and that you're gathering information that's going to be useful as you move forwards. We've only got this one opportunity to use the Chromebooks, so we need to make sure that we make the most of it. So on the Classroom, I've assigned each of you this sheet that you can see on the screen now. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you, just walk you through how to complete it, and just to give a little bit of information about how to make sure that your research is effective. So the first thing you need to do is to write your title at the top. Writing your title at the top is going to help you to really focus on what it is you're looking at. So I'm looking at education in Wales. That's quite a broad title at the moment. That's okay. At the end of my research, I'm going to be coming up with my statement or my question, which will be more specific. Then what you need to do is just to write a few sentences that sum up or kind of introduce your thinking about your topic. So what it is you are looking to explore about your topic, and perhaps a little bit about why you've picked it. So this is what I've put for mine. Education is at the heart of all communities, and schools play an important role in the development of individuals, communities, and the world. We all know that qualifications and skills are important, but to what extent do schools address pupils' mental and spiritual development? So what I'm going to look at is whether schools are effective in helping to develop pupils' mental and spiritual qualities. To do that, I've got my own ideas and I've got my own personal experience which I can draw upon, but I also need some actual research information as well. I need some statistics if possible, maybe something about policy, maybe other people's experience, and that's what I need to spend my time researching. So in these boxes here, you can see you've got these 4 boxes. You're going to put the link to either a video or an article that you are going to use for your research, and you're also going to provide a bullet point summary of each article or video that you've chosen. Once you've done that, you can go and you can have a look at the information that you've got. You can look at it in more detail. This is going to be part of your homework before coming up with the statement or the question that you're going to take forward. So we need to imagine that I've already filled in my table that you've been filling in with the columns that state what I know, what I need to know, the research questions I'm going to put forward to find that out, and my personal experience. I need to take my research questions now and I need to use them to search for information about this topic. So I head over to Google. Okay, so I want to know about the teaching of mental health, well-being, spirituality in schools in Wales. So perhaps one of the first things I'm going to look at is teaching spirituality in schools in Wales. I need to be specific. Let's see where that takes us. Okay, so the first result I've got here I can see is a PDF, and it's Faith in Education, and it's on Hub, which I know is like a government website linked to education. In fact, it tells you that it's gov.wales. So that's likely to be a good source of information. So that seems like a good place to start. Now, when I'm talking about spirituality, I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about pupils' sense of self. I'm talking about pupils' sense of being connected to the wider world. So this may or may not be of relevance to me, but given that it's a good, reliable, reputable source of information, it seems like I may as well start there. So let's take a look. Okay, so it's a Welsh Government document, Faith in Education. Let's, so we've got the contents, the foreword. Okay, so I can see by the contents there's things in here like what is the historical basis for a faith dimension within education? What statutory? Statutory means like you have to do it. Provision exists in relation to the faith dimension in education. That's quite interesting. Maybe I could look at that. Or what is the role of collective worship? I could look at that as well. So what I'm noticing straight away is from the government's documentation, we're talking here about faith, not spirituality, not mental health. So it might be this is quite an interesting place to start, to see how the government views faith in education and how that differs to spirituality and how that is treated within the curriculum. So I'm going to go here, where did I see it? What is the statutory provision? Okay, so that's page 9. So I'm going to look down to page 9. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So I'm just going to skim this. So Welsh Government continues to support constructive diversity. Duality of the system offers learners the opportunity to be educated within or outside of faith-based settings. This is still all about faith. Statutory provision for the existence of state-supported denominational schools. Support for something about RE in the curriculum there. Schools with religious character. Should appoint governors. This is all very much about faith. It's not necessarily about spirituality. Okay. What is a distinctive ethos of schools with a religious character, and how does it make a positive? So we're looking now at those schools which do have a religious character, what their ethos is, and I'm just looking at this and thinking these are some of the words that I would be looking for if I was looking at spirituality. So these schools that do have religious character have wide-ranging communities centred on the well-being and education of young people in their care. They have a common purpose of intentionally predicating their approach to education on a vision of what it means to flourish as a human being. So these are the things that schools with religious character seem to display. So cherishing the human person and the individual, promoting a strong sense of well-being, offering high standards of education, striving to meet personalised needs and explore the spiritual dimension of life, promoting community cohesion, encouraging young people to discover and understand what they hold in common, fostering a positive attitude to the diversity of faith, and working in a spirit of partnership with the Welsh Government. Now, to me, from my life experience and what I believe about education, that isn't necessarily about faith. That's about spirituality. That's about it says here, look, ensuring young people develop into healthy and balanced individuals. So one of the things that I might actually want to talk about in my presentation is, what do we mean by faith, what do we mean by spirituality, and what is the difference when it comes to developing young people. I'm going to use this document in my further research. This is going to be here. I'm going to put this here. I think this is well worth a read. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm just going to put the link for myself there. And in summary, I am going to put these are notes for myself, by the way. Look at the markers for faith schools. Consider faith and spirituality and the difference. Obviously, I've read like 3 pages of this document. I need to read it in far more detail. I need to understand in more detail what it's talking about, but that's certainly going to be a document I'm going to use. Okay, so I'm going to close that now. I've got the link, and I am going to be coming back to that. Actually, I'm just going to put the link to the page. I found it. Oh no, it'll be fine. I don't need to do that, do I? Okay, so I want to look at supporting mental health as well. Supporting mental health in schools in Wales. Okay, so I'm seeing here it says a £5 million for mental health in schools. That's the 18th of May 2020. That's quite recent. And where's that? Oh, that's the government again. Health and wellbeing in schools. That seems to be something from Wales. Time to Change Wales, young people in schools. That seems to be about a pilot scheme. Oh, embraced a whole school approach to mental health. Oh, that sounds interesting. Okay, let's have a look at this. Time to Change Wales, let's end mental health discrimination. Young people in schools who worked. Oh, this is good because this here is a case study. It's research that this organisation has carried out in schools in Wales in order to kind of create change in the way that mental health is dealt with in schools or supported. Okay, so this could be quite interesting. This is good, look. So this is telling you about their pilot scheme. It was 2017, so it was a while ago, but still I think will be relevant. Oh, where can you find information about mental health? Okay, I want to look at their head to our young people's pages to find videos of young champions talking about their experiences. So this is good. We will. Okay, so I'm definitely going to use this because this is an actual campaign that's being carried out into the thing that I'm looking at, and I'm sure that's going to give me some statistics, some information, and just some examples to draw upon that aren't just from my own life. Timetochange.wales.org. Okay, I'm going to put that there. Do a few bullet points for myself. Campaign in 2017 to improve support for mental health in schools. Look at results and feedback. Okay, so that's my second article that I'm going to look at. Okay, let's go back to how can schools promote wellbeing, whole school approach to mental health in Wales. It's January 2020, that's quite recent. educationbusinessuk.net. So this is the Welsh Government's announced its new funding for a project. Maybe this is, it must be this, that must be this. Let's have a look at this. £5 million for mental health in schools will include new support for under 11s and teachers. Coincides with Mental Health Awareness Week. Okay, this could be a good, I think this is kind of linked to coronavirus as well. Not going to jump on top of that one because it's kind of more about coronavirus than anything else. Okay, so what you can see is that I'm not just picking up, I've just noticed there's one from the Senate. Mind over Matter, April 2018. It's a while ago, but this might have some good statistics and things in it. Yeah, our evidence gathering. So I could look at that. So what you can see from this is I'm not just putting in search terms, clicking on the first thing that's like some Twitter link or something. I'm actually looking at the quality of the research that I am going to include. So it's really important that you do that. It's really important that you you consider the quality of the sources that you're looking at. Once you've done this and you've got 4 sources, don't forget some of these could be videos as well, you need to read through them and pick out the relevant information that you can use in your own individual presentation. This is not going to be a quick job. It's not going to be something that you're going to achieve in a single lesson. You're going to need to do some of this at home as well. But it's something that's going to ensure that your individual presentation is really well researched. And don't forget that half of the marks for this individual presentation are given for the actual content of your of what you say. So you need to make sure that you are knowledgeable on the topic. And when we watched the example, some of you said that you felt that the personal experience in the example that got a lot of marks was it was a bit heavy on the personal experience, and I'd agree with you with that. And I think you need to make sure that you get that right balance between personal experience and research and evidence. And this is the way that you make sure that research and evidence is included. Okay, so for today's lesson, you need to identify your 4 sources. And once you've done that, for the rest of the lesson, if there's time, and for your homework, you need to read through your sources and make notes on them so that you can take the relevant information forward into your own presentation.